What if someone told you that in the near future the world as you know it could change forever, that cities would crumble, the sky would go dark, and evil forces would roam the earth? You'd probably dismiss it as a crazy story, right? But what if someone whose prophecies have proven eerily accurate thus far made those predictions over a century ago? Meet Marie-Julie Jahenny, a name you've probably never heard before. She wasn't famous, and she didn't seek the spotlight. Born in a small town in France over 170 years ago, Marie-Julie was just an ordinary woman with an extraordinary gift. She claimed to have visions so vivid and so real that they shook her to her core. These were not ordinary visions. They showed some of the world's most terrifying events yet to come. Many of her predictions have already come true: wars, plagues, natural disasters. Marie-Julie saw it all before anyone else did. But what's even more terrifying is what she predicted for the year 2024. And if her past predictions are anything to go by, we all need to start paying attention. She warned of a time when darkness would cover the earth for 3 whole days, when the sun wouldn't shine, and when only blessed candles could give off light. During this time, evil spirits would be everywhere, attacking anyone who wasn't strong in their faith. It sounds like the stuff of nightmares, but she believed it was a very real and terrifying future. In 2024, she said something so shocking would happen in Paris that it would be a sign of worse things to come. And what do you know? At the 2024 Olympics in Paris, something did happen. Something so disrespectful and sacrilegious that it could have dire consequences for the entire world. This was not just a prediction, it was a warning, and ignoring it could lead to terrible consequences. She believed that if we didn't change our ways, if we didn't strengthen our faith, we'd face the consequences of our actions. And those consequences, according to her, could be catastrophic. Are you ready to hear what she had to say? Are you ready to take action before it's too late? Be part of our community by subscribing to this channel. Marie-Julie was born on February 12, 1850, in the small village of La Fraude in France. From a young age, she was known for her deep piety and connection to the divine. But it wasn't until she was 23 that her life took a dramatic turn. In 1873, Marie-Julie experienced the stigmata, the physical manifestation of Christ's wounds on her own body. This was a turning point, marking the beginning of a life filled with mystical encounters and frightening prophecies. Marie-Julie frequently envisioned the world's future, specifically the destiny of France and the Catholic Church. She envisioned a world that would test faith like never before, confronting those who failed to cling to their beliefs with unimaginable horrors. Her warnings were clear. Only a deep and unwavering faith in God could prevent the world from heading towards a crisis. One of the most chilling aspects of Marie-Julie's prophecies is how they relate to the role of faith in times of crisis. She predicted that faith would be the only thing protecting people from the end-time chaos and destruction. This wasn't just a metaphorical statement. Marie-Julie believed that during the 3 days of darkness, only those who kept their faith strong would survive. She described a world where evil spirits would roam the earth, attacking anyone who lacked the spiritual strength to resist them. Marie-Julie's life was filled with miraculous events that served as both a testament to her faith and as warnings to others. For example, in July 1937, Cardinal Eugenio Pacelli, who would later become Pope Pius X, visited Marie-Julie discreetly. This visit wasn't just a casual meeting, it was a recognition of the spiritual significance of her life and prophecies. The support of such a high-ranking church figure lent credibility to her visions, making them impossible to ignore. But Marie-Julie's prophecies weren't just about the distant future. They also spoke to the events of her time, many of which seemed to mirror our own. She foresaw the rise of secularism and the decline of religious devotion, warning that these trends would lead to catastrophic consequences. She predicted that the practice of abortion would become widespread, a prediction that, in her time, would have seemed unthinkable but has tragically become a reality in our modern world. Her vision of a world under attack and moral values eroding resonates deeply with the current state of global affairs. As we look around today, it's easy to see how her warnings about the dangers of turning away from God have played out. Wars, pandemics, and societal unrest all echo the dark future she foresaw. Marie-Julie's warning that the world will plunge into darkness, both literally and figuratively, is perhaps the most terrifying of all her predictions. She spoke of a time when the sun would cease to shine for 3 days, a period during which the only light would come from blessed candles. Those who do not prepare spiritually, she warned, would be at the mercy of the evil forces unleashed during this time. Marie-Julie Jahenny's apocalyptic prophecies paint a grim picture of what could lie ahead, a world plagued by darkness, destruction, and despair. Unlike the gentle warnings of other seers, her predictions are stark, vivid, and terrifyingly specific. She didn't just foresee challenging times, she envisioned a complete unraveling of society, where the very fabric of life as we know it could be torn apart. She foresaw a series of calamities that would follow, each more devastating than the last. Natural disasters, earthquakes, floods, and storms would strike with unprecedented fury, reshaping landscapes and wiping out entire cities. These weren't just random acts of nature, according to Marie-Julie. They were signs, divine retributions for humanity's moral and spiritual failures. Moreover, Marie-Julie predicted a collapse of social order. Wars would break out not just between nations but within them as civil unrest and anarchy spread. Governments would fall and societies would fragment under the weight of their internal conflicts. This chaos, she believed, would be a direct consequence of humanity turning away from God, choosing instead paths of greed, violence, and corruption. Her prophecies also spoke of the rise of a powerful, deceptive figure, a false leader who would emerge amidst the chaos, promising peace but delivering only more turmoil. This figure, often interpreted as the Antichrist, would lead many astray, exploiting the fear and confusion of the times. Under his influence, the world would spiral further into moral decay, with faith and truth becoming rarities in a sea of deception. Marie-Julie's apocalyptic vision was not just a forecast of doom, but a warning to prepare, both physically and spiritually, for what was to come. She urged those who heard her message to turn back to their faith, to seek protection through prayer, and to live in a way that aligned with divine principles. For her, the apocalypse wasn't just about the end of the world. It was about the consequences of humanity's choices, the final result of a world that had lost its way. Her prophecies resonate with a deep sense of urgency. They are a call to action, a reminder that the future is not set in stone, but shaped by the actions and decisions we make today. In the face of such dire predictions, Marie-Julie offered a path of hope, one rooted in faith, repentance, and a return to spiritual values. While the apocalyptic scenarios she described might seem distant or unlikely, they serve as powerful metaphors for the dangers that come with moral and spiritual neglect. Whether taken literally or figuratively, her vision challenges us to reflect on the current state of the world and our role in it. Marie-Julie Jahenny's prophecies aren't just unsettling, they demand immediate attention. The sense of fear they instill is not merely to shock, but to awaken a deep awareness of the impending dangers she foresaw. Her visions speak to a world on the brink, where time is running out and decisive action is needed to avert catastrophe. The urgency in Marie-Julie's messages is palpable. She didn't just offer predictions for the distant future. She warned of events that could unfold within our own lifetimes. The signs she described, rising conflicts, moral decay, and natural disasters, are all too familiar in today's world. This overlap between her visions and our current reality amplifies the sense of dread, making her warnings feel alarmingly relevant. Marie-Julie's broader predictions speak of a world spiraling out of control, where societal structures begin to collapse under the weight of their own corruption. She foresaw a time when governments would falter, economies would crumble, and social order would be replaced by chaos. In such a world, the choices we make now become critically important. Marie-Julie's warnings suggest that we are at a tipping point, where our actions or inactions could determine whether we face a future of salvation or destruction. This sense of impending doom is not meant to paralyze with fear, but to spur us into action. Marie-Julie didn't prophesy to frighten, she did so to prepare. She wanted her audience to recognize the signs of the times and take them seriously. The disasters she predicted, whether natural or man-made, serve as stark reminders of the consequences of ignoring these warnings. They are calls to strengthen our moral compass, to return to principles that have been abandoned, and to protect ourselves and our communities from the dangers she foresaw. In today's context, the urgency of Marie-Julie's prophecies resonates strongly. We live in a world where the pace of change is accelerating, where every day seems to bring new crises. Whether it's the threat of war, environmental disasters, or the erosion of societal norms, the challenges we face today echo the warnings she issued over a century ago. This connection between past prophecies and present realities creates a powerful sense of immediacy. Her warnings feel as though they were meant for us, here and now. Marie-Julie's urgency was also a call to reassess our priorities. She believed that much of the suffering she foresaw could be mitigated if humanity returned to a path of righteousness. Her prophecies suggest that the world's trajectory is not set in stone, but can be altered through collective and individual action. This means that while her visions are terrifying, they also offer a glimmer of hope if we are willing to heed her warnings and make the necessary changes. In light of her prophecies, the message is clear. The time to act is now. Whether it's reinforcing our faith, preparing for potential disasters, or working to restore moral values, Marie-Julie's predictions are a wake-up call to take responsibility for the future. The fear they generate is not meant to be an end in itself, but a catalyst for meaningful, urgent action. Her visions serve as both a warning and an opportunity to change course before it's too late. The unsettling images she painted of darkness enveloping the earth, of societal collapse, and of a world teetering on the brink of chaos are not just ancient tales to be forgotten. They are, in many ways, mirrors reflecting the fragility of our current world. Marie-Julie's prophecies serve as a potent reminder that the future is not something we can afford to take lightly. The dangers she foresaw, whether they manifest exactly as she predicted or take different forms, highlight the vulnerabilities in our society and in ourselves. Her visions compel us to question the path we're on and to consider whether we are prepared for the challenges that lie ahead. They are not simply about predicting the future, but about urging us to confront the present with seriousness and resolve. If you want to keep learning about these important topics and to be prepared for what lies ahead, make sure be part of our community by subscribing to this channel. In a world where the pace of change is relentless, it often feels like we're living on the edge of uncertainty, with each new crisis more overwhelming than the last. From global pandemics to natural disasters and social unrest, the challenges we face today are unlike anything seen before. In these tumultuous times, the urgency of Marie-Julie Jahenny's message becomes impossible to ignore. Her prophecies aren't just ancient warnings, they are a profound call to reflect on our lives, to examine our beliefs, and to question whether we are truly prepared to face whatever the future holds. Marie-Julie's visions push us to look beyond the surface of our daily lives and to consider the deeper spiritual aspects of our existence. Are we living in alignment with our values? Are we ready to confront the trials that may come our way? These are not just theoretical questions, but vital concerns that demand our attention now before it's too late. Yet Marie-Julie's prophecies go beyond instilling fear. They offer us a powerful call to action. They remind us that while the future is uncertain, it is not beyond our influence. We hold the power to shape what lies ahead through the decisions we make today. Our actions, our choices, and our commitment to living with integrity and faith are the tools with which we can mold a better future. Ultimately, her message is one of hope. Hope that by heeding these warnings, we can alter the trajectory of our future. Hope that with faith and preparedness, we can endure even the most challenging times. And hope that by embracing the lessons of her prophecies, we can overcome the obstacles ahead and emerge not just as survivors, but as stronger, wiser individuals. Thank you for watching, and until the next episode.